Welcome back to another segment of Epic Locals. And this morning we're talking with someone who's gone through several incarnations throughout his career, Paul Gotthelf. Good morning, Paul.
Hi, how are you this morning?
Good, thanks. So it's a little surprising that, I know you now as someone very involved in real estate. But before that, you were very involved in the jewelry business. And I think you were mentioning something even before that, where you were involved in the nuclear power industry.
That's correct, yeah. I have a very colorful background. It all started back in Buffalo, New York, and it's where I was born and raised. And, the love of outdoors, I think, started there. Just, we were real close to Niagara Falls, so we'd do little trips over there. Anyways, that led me to Rochester for school, and ultimately graduated with an industrial process control degree, and that led me into nuclear. And during that career, I was like, wow, man, I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. So I decided, I'm going to hit the road and venture out to Colorado, and that's exactly what I did. And that's where my career started here. Originally, I was building homes in Boulder, and thought, well, I'm not going to stay in Boulder because there's no skiing here, access. And I thought, well, I really wanted to be a ski bum, so that took me up to Vail, and ultimately, my first job was with Rick Sackbauer up at the Cook Shack flipping burgers, and how that routine goes. Had a little background in jewelry. I was doing art shows and traveling around, having fun doing that. And I realized that that's really where the career should go, just because it really was a career move. And so I started a small business here in Vail, and grew that to one of the largest jewelers really in the country. So we had a very successful career on that, Patek Philippe and Rolex and all the big watch lines. And during that career, I met some, it's always about who you meet. And I met Terry Betteridge, who is one of the largest jewelers back east, and he mentored me in a lot of my lines, Rolex, etc. So eventually, I sold the business to Terry, and now you see Betteridge Jewelers in town. And right after I sold, I'm walking down the street and I bump into Rod Slifer, and Rod's congratulating me on the sale. And he said, "Oh, you ought to get into real estate." And so I said, "No, that'll be a fun hobby." And so that's exactly what I did. And I jokingly say, unfortunately, I've become one of the top teams in the Slifer organization. And that's how I do it. Is the team concept to me was just a natural, because I had so many good people around me in the jewelry industry. That's really why I became one of the top jewelers in the country. It was always the people around me. And ultimately, when I got into jewelry, I ultimately married my wife Joni, who is one of my employees. Whoops. But that's really she's kind of been my rock for sure. And then the real estate career has just really taken off. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people come and go from this valley, but I think what makes it unique and what gives us continuity are people like you who come and stay and build, and in your case, make some pretty radical changes and keep going on, and quite successfully as well.
Yeah. Well, I always tell people I'm living the dream here. I mean, obviously the outdoor activities, and I'm very involved with everything you can imagine, from skinning up the mountain at 6 in the morning to, the mountain bike. I raced Leadville 112 times, and I'm a AAA type, and I kind of put that energy into the real estate career, and it's proven itself very successful.
Paul, thank you so much for coming on our show today, and I feel like we didn't even get to the Leadville 100 and all the athletics. So maybe you'll have to come back and talk to us a little bit more about that.
That's a whole program in itself.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Coming up next, Owen has your weather forecast.